Are you hearing me well?
I hear you very well, Grit.
Okay, I don't know whether you see me also, but I just
Yes.
wanted to say hi, and thank you for introducing me. So, bonjour tout le monde, je suis vraiment contente de vous voir tellement nombreux. Hallo, ook aan mijn Nederlandstalige vrienden en Nederlandse vrienden, want ik weet dat er veel wat bij zijn. Welkom. And I'm going to continue in English because we have a very multilingual audience tonight, and I'm gonna put off stop my webcam because that might cause some trouble. So it was just to say hi. Okay, welcome everybody. We have a very full agenda, so we better get going. So what we will talk about is what is blogging, who should blog and why, and then we'll cover the 14 common mistakes that freelancers and entrepreneurs make with regards to blogging. That's how we shouldn't work, but what are the to-dos, what are the should-haves? Well, those are the 10 top elements, and we will be discussing them too. Then we'll go over a possible structure quickly, and then after we have our blog post ready, what happens then? What's next? So there's a lot on our agenda, but please hang on, because there is also at the end of the presentation a small present, well, an interesting present for you also. Stick with me, you will enjoy the present, I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, now I do see a lot of people I already know, but there are also some people I do not know in the audience, so I'm going to present myself. And a few words. So that's me. I like to shop whenever I have the time. There are some key words and a little bit about myself, a little bit about my background. I'm the founder of HR5, which is a company that helps small and medium-sized business owners get rid of their HR worries. And besides that, I'm also the founder of You Brand Builder, where I help interim managers, coaches, consultants, etc. via personal branding attract more clients. Now, about my background, I have been an interim manager myself for about 10 years, where I had some great assignments with companies like J&J, Microsoft, Ernst & Young, Mobistar, etc., also smaller companies. Great assignments with great companies, and there I learned to find my assignments and to attract more clients. After 10 years, however, it was time to turn the tables, and I joined an interim management agency, meaning that I was responsible for finding the freelance HR interim manager for temporary assignments with our clients. And it was then that I noticed that there were so many freelancers, so many consultants, interim managers, coaches, trainers, who are very good at what they do, but they seem to struggle. They seem to have a difficulty standing out from the competition and branding themselves without feeling like a bragger, or selling themselves without feeling so salesy. And that is a pity, because that means that quite some of these freelancers are struggling. So I started to give some tips and tricks on unique selling proposition on LinkedIn, etc. And apparently people liked it quite a lot, so they came back to me more and more. And it kind of frustrated me, because in my role as a middleman with that interim management agency, I was not really able to help them on an individual level, and that was quite frustrated. I couldn't help the people I really cared about, and that is why I decided a couple of months ago to create You Brand Builder, so where I help interim managers, coaches, consultants get noticed via personal branding, attract more clients, and enjoy freedom, financial freedom. Now, creating a new company means also a new brand, a new personal brand. So I had to get noticed and attract more clients. So I had to work on my personal branding. And today it's working rather well. I'm really happy that it's being rather successful. So I I'm really happy that I can share with you my lessons learned, my failures also, my best practices with you and with my clients. And if I can make it, I'm pretty sure that you can make it too. You can also build your personal brand. Now, besides my business, it's also very important that I have time in my private life to spend on the things that are really important. I want to keep that balance in private life and business. That's not really that easy, I must admit, but I try as much as possible. So I spend it with my godchild, Charlotte, whom you see there. I like to read a book and drink a glass of wine. I love my cat and my dog. My husband too, by the way, but he's not on the slides. And I choose to have fun in life. One of my favorite mottos really is never take yourself too seriously. Our businesses are serious, our clients are serious, but please do not take yourself too seriously. We should have all a little bit of fun and some laughs in our lives. So that is all about me. And now I'm wondering about you guys. So Christine has already told you that when you have questions, you can use the control panel and type your questions in the questions box. However, I will also leave room at the end of the presentation for some extra questions. Now, the first question I wanted to ask you, and I would appreciate if you give me some answers, is how do you feel about and in your business? How do you feel about your business and in your business? Is it always great and fun? You have lots of clients and great assignments and great job to do? Or is it sometimes quite difficult? Is it sometimes really stressful where you wonder how am I going to find the time to do this, or how am I going to find this great client or assignment? How do you feel about your business and in your business? You can type your answers in the question field so Christine can have a look at your answers. Please go ahead, you do me a big favor.
Yes, I see already some answers and remarks coming in. Karina says, oh, stressful. Somebody saying, I love my business, but time management is an issue.
Yeah, I know that. That's my biggest difficulty too, time management. So much to do in so little time.
Yes. Kathleen says, hi, I'm attending. Somebody else is saying, I wish I could find clients more easily.
Yeah, I think we all do, especially the people in this webinar. I think that we all would like to have some more clients. I did a study last year about the worries of interim managers and freelancers, etc., and attracting clients and standing out from the competition are two of the major issues that live. I also read some articles about freelancing, and freelancing is really the new black. I mean, freelancing is really hot, and there was a study that in the US by 2020, meaning not even 5 years from now, 40% of the work population will be freelancing. So that's huge. I mean, and stop kidding yourself, you know, Europe will follow. Okay, you might say, okay, it's the US, but Europe will follow, I'm pretty sure of it. It means that there is so much competition out there, and we should really stand out. If there is so much competition, we should stand out among this competition. We should really build our personal brand, and we should really build our online personal brand. So are you ready to start blogging? That's the issue of today, because I like to be an independent business owner and my own boss. I don't think that I will ever become an employee again, but this being said, it's not always that easy, so certainly not that work-life balance. So sometimes I think, oh my God, it was so easy back then when I was still an employee, but I love it, but we have to work hard to stand out and work on our personal brand. So that's my conviction, really. Okay, now who should blog?
Yeah, there are still a lot of answers coming in.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I've someone saying I'm starting, so careful, somewhat disoriented on where to go to and wondering how to do the right thing. Leslie
Yeah,
said,
that indeed. Yeah, starting in your business, it's all about, okay, what am I going to do, who am I going to serve, and how am I going to put it in the market so that I am noticed, I get noticed by my target audience. So, it's a really great thing about getting started with your business. I know all about it.
yes, and Leslie has also a comment we can all relate to. Most of the time it's okay, but sometimes I worry about getting enough business.
Indeed, and that is why I decided to create You Brand Builder, because I am convinced that by building your personal brand, you can really make a difference and you can really build a reputation and, and become an authority in your field, so that attracting clients and building your business becomes much, much more easy. Okay, so who should blog? Everyone, I guess, well, especially the freelancers, and especially if you are in the service industry, like the consultants and interim managers, etc. If you are selling services, meaning if you're selling kind of yourself, then you certainly have to blog, you have to start blogging. And then sometimes I get these reactions, yeah, but it takes a lot of time, and will the results be there? Will I be able to attract clients via my blogging, via personal branding? But certainly today we are talking about blogging. Will it benefit really the time that I spent on blogging? And I can tell you, yes, indeed, it is. It takes some time, of course. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and it takes some time. But the results will be there, because I was able to attract clients. So why not you? And I'm not the only one. One of my clients is Anne Baker. She should be on the line, on the phone, I think, but I'm not sure. She had a client today. She had an important training with a client today, so I'm not sure whether she was able to join already. But Anne Baker from www.naturalleadership.be, she helps leaders and managers find fulfillment in their professional life via coaching and training programs. And she focuses really on leadership. Now, when we started talking about working together and personal branding, etc., she said, yeah, well, I would really like to stand out from the competition, because there are so many trainers and coaches out there. So how can I stand out? How can I really make a difference? Especially because I'm an introvert and I don't want to go to every network event possible. And so I suggested, among others, that she start blogging. You can start by blogging once a month, for instance, and then later on possibly twice a month, and if you like it and if it's okay, then maybe once a week. And so she did. She started blogging, and she has this great blog that you can find on her website, that you can find on the screen, and the results are there. She really was able to put herself on the map, and she was able to get some speaking gigs via her blog, and she attracted also some clients. And what is really great also is that I was able to attract clients via Anne, because there are some people who said, well, she's doing such a good job, she's really building a reputation, and I want to do that too. So that's really so great. Anne is really the living proof that personal branding and blogging can be a business booster. So if she can do it, if I can do it, why not you? Now, question is, what is blogging actually? Well, I guess that most of you do not know what it is about, but it's short for web and log, and it used to be more like a diary. But if you want to use it in a professional way, in a marketing kind of way or branding kind of way, then I would urge you not to use it as a diary. I mean, it's all about your ideal client. It's all about your target audience, and they want to find themselves in your blog. They want to find interesting information. So your blog is really an interesting way to post information, articles, ideas, thoughts that are valuable and relevant to your target audience. It's not about you. Personal branding is not about you. It's about them. So that's an important one. So don't use it as a diary unless you are traveling the world or something. Then it might be interesting to hold a diary. But otherwise, use it in another way. Use it in a smart and marketing-oriented way. Now, your blog can be a whole site, like for instance the Huffington Post is really, I think it's the biggest blog site in the world. But it can also be a part of your website if you do have one. And I always think it is a good idea to have a website, but that's another issue and another program or another webinar maybe. Now, besides blogging, blogging is not only about writing articles. You can also choose video blog or vlogging, as they say. You can decide to use video instead of articles, written articles, to use as a blog. And one of my other clients who's in my 6-month program, uBrand, is Carina Urbina from www.bringthebusiness.be. And Carina, when she started out her business, which by the way is she helps people who sell their products and services online. Well, she helps them getting back on track or on track if they are starting. And when she started, she told me, yeah, well, I don't feel like writing all the time. It's not really my favorite thing. So I would really like to build a reputation and build my personal brand, but in another way. And so we worked together on that idea, and we came up with the idea of vlogging. So you can find her video blogs on her website. Really, it's packed full of information, so everybody who wants to do business online, go and visit her website. It's great. There's lots of interesting, valuable content. So she has gotten the message, Carina, that building your brand and your reputation is done via, for instance, blogging or vlogging. Okay, are there any questions? Christine, are there any questions in the meanwhile? None? Okay, then I will continue. The next question is, why should you blog? Oh, sorry, Christine, are you saying something?
Yes, sorry, I forgot to unmute myself, so you couldn't hear me. Sorry. There is indeed a question from Dominique, and he says, it discourages me to see there are so many blogs. Isn't there an overkill, and is it worth the energy to start a blog?
Yeah, I must admit, and that's a very good one, I must admit that indeed there are a lot of blogs out there. There is a lot of information out there. So how do you make a difference, and is it useful? Now, I would say yes, it is still useful, otherwise I wouldn't be giving this a webinar, of course. It has allowed me to attract clients, so I'm pretty sure that you can attract clients too. This being said, it is important that you do it, in a correct way, in an effective way. That's one thing. And then second, that you tell everybody, and certainly your target audience, that you have a blog and that you have written a blog post. Tell your target audience, tell your ideal clients that you have written something or that you have recorded something, and I'm sure they will connect with you and follow you if you have interesting and valuable information for your target audience. Then I'm sure that they will keep on following you. Okay, thank you for the question. Anyway, now Yeah, I was talking about why should we blog? Well, yeah, in the first place, because to attract clients. I don't know whether you know the concept of know, like, and trust. But I've already repeated it several times during my workshops and webinars, but people do not buy from you unless they know, like, and trust you, especially in the services industry. If they do not know, like, and trust you, they will not buy from you and they will not become your fans. So if you want to build that know, like, trust, then blogging is a very good way, because you show your expertise, you show that you know your market and your field, you show that you care for your target audience and that you deliver valuable information. So it's an ideal way to attract clients. Anne and Carina were able to attract clients. I was able to attract clients via my blog, so I'm pretty sure you will too. It is, of course, as I already mentioned, an ideal way to build your online reputation and to become the authority in your field, and that's what is so important in personal branding. Another thing that is interesting is that Google loves fresh and original content. So if you have a website, you should put your blog on your website in one of the headlines, because Google will come back every time you post something and they will visit your site, which means that it will improve your site's overall ranking. So if you have a blog, put it on your website. Very interesting for if you want Google to like you a lot. Yeah, your tribe or your fans, they love connecting with you, and they want to know what you have to share, etc. So it's also a very good way to keep in touch with your fans, with your tribe, and your tribe is all the people who know, like, and trust you. And it's also a very good excuse to email your list and post on all the major social media sites your content. So that drives traffic back to your site again. So having a blog is very interesting for your own website too. Other reasons, well, you build a relationship, of course, with your existing and potential clients. It forces you to keep up to date with what's happening in your market, with your clients, potential clients, with the topics that are interesting, etc. So, and it's also a very good reason to start blogging. And it also allows you to highlighting your strengths and those of your services in an indirect way. So it's not at all salesy, it's an indirect way to show who you are. So you don't have to be a bragger to build your personal brand. You can do it and you should do it in a very authentic way, in a very indirect way, like for instance via your blog. And you know what, you become a better and faster writer too, so isn't that great? That's just a bonus. Now, one of the questions I get is, yeah, but I'm an interim manager, and an interim manager, should we also start blogging? Should I do that? And my answer to that is yes. Yes, of course you should. And one of my other clients, Anne Esga from Axamora Consulting, she's an interim manager and she started blogging recently. She's an interim manager. She's specialized in reward and talent management, and she feels it is very important that the two are combined. And so that's why she decided to start blogging with regards to everything that has to do with talent management and reward management. So an HR interim manager can also blog. And she's really, the result is that she's really building a reputation as a serious reward and talent management consultant. And you know what? She doesn't have a website yet, and she doesn't have her blog site ready yet either, but that didn't keep her from writing her blogs. She just posts them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has an interesting feature where you can publish your blog. So don't let it keep you from blogging. Not having that website, it's okay. If you don't have a website, it's okay. But don't let that keep you from blogging. Okay, so that is what Anne, and Anne is very happy that she started that, and I am very happy to have her in my 6-month program. Now, Christine, are there any other questions in the meanwhile?
Yes, there's a question from Anne, and she wonders how much time does it take to write a blog and to share it? In other words, is it time consuming to have my own blog?
Yeah, well, that depends a little. I mean, one of the things that I just said before is that you become a better and faster writer. In the beginning, it takes quite some time. I mean, you have to get used to your own style, the blogging style. What will you write about? You have to do some analysis, or you have to try to find out, okay, what might be interesting for my group, etc. And especially the perfectionists among us, for them it might take some time to write, but you get better and better at it, and you become faster and faster at it. So it takes some time, I must admit, and it's not only writing the blog, it's also sharing it and sharing it with your audience. So that also takes a little bit of time, spreading the word about your blog. But you become more and more, you become faster and faster at it. And it's not necessary to write a blog post every week, for instance. You can also choose to write it every month, like some of us do.
And there's another question from Mark related to LinkedIn that you just mentioned. He asked, does it make sense to also copy your blog into LinkedIn Publish format in order to become a LinkedIn authority?
Yeah, I would indeed, because I've noticed that I have quite some followers on my LinkedIn publishing, and I guess it's because I'm regularly putting my blog posts on the LinkedIn Publish site. So yes, I would if I were you. It's a very good way to to reach even more people beyond the people you're already connected with. So it's a good way. Get it out there as much as possible. Okay, so I was just saying that even if you do not have a website, it shouldn't keep you from blogging. And that is also one of the common mistakes that people make with regards to blogging. I will cover 14 of them, and the first one is not starting a blog. So really, you do not have any excuse to not starting a blog. Okay, it takes some time, but it's rewarding. Okay. And then the second one is making it a personal diary. I've already mentioned that one before, so it's not about you, it's about your target audience. It is very important that blogging is part of your marketing and branding strategy. And marketing is really spreading your message, or bringing across your message over and over and over again to your target audience. So why not via blogging? Blogging is an ideal way to spread your message. So it should be part of your marketing and branding strategy. Another thing is that a client of mine recently told me, yeah, but I've been blogging now for a couple of weeks, couple of months even, and I do not see so many reactions, and I don't think that I've already attracted a client. Now, we should set our expectations right there. You have to be patient. I mean, it's not with writing 1 or 2 blog posts that you will attract thousands of clients immediately. You have to be patient, but it will come. It has worked out for me, so I'm pretty sure that it will work out for you too, if you do it in a correct way and if you spread it in a correct way. Those are the things that I teach, by the way, in my different programs. Okay, other common mistakes. Posting too little and too often. That's a question that a lot of people ask me. Yeah, how many times should I post my blogs? Well, I do it every week. Anne does it also every week. Karina too, I believe. But it's not necessary to do it every week. You can start with once a month, but I wouldn't go for less than once a month. I think the ideal thing is to between once a week and once a month. In the US, you have bloggers who blog every day. I think that that's overkill, especially here in Europe. We're not used to receiving so much information like blogging, etc. So I wouldn't exaggerate. I think that once a week is more than enough to start with. But also very important is that you should do it frequently. Lots of people do it very infrequently, meaning then they post a blog on a Monday and then they wait 3 weeks and then there's another post and then 3 posts every week and then suddenly again 3 months nothing. That's not a good thing. If you start it, you have to be consistent and you have to post frequently. For instance, I have a weekly blog post and it's every Tuesday morning. And I'm only human. I already forgot it one time too, and there was one time when I was sick that I didn't write my blog either, but I try to be very consistent. Every Tuesday morning there will be a blog post in your inbox if you like receiving my tips and tricks. Doing it all for SEO's sake, well, I've already told you that we like, Google likes all our posts, and it's good to have our website ranking, that improves our website ranking. However, just blogging just because of the SEO sakes, that is not a good idea. So it is an interesting bonus, let's say, but it's not. It shouldn't be the reason why you start blogging. The reason why you start blogging is to deliver valuable information to your target audience and build a relationship and build a reputation. No call to action. When you write a blog post, and we'll go into more detail later on, you should have a call to action, meaning that you should ask a question or you should ask people to do something with your blog post, share it or answer a certain question or whatever. So you should have a call to action with your blog post. And this being said, it's also very important that you allow conversation. Here in Europe, I think in Holland too, and in Belgium certainly, we do not have the tendency to respond and to give comments and to conversate via blogging. It's not yet really that common over here. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't allow it. So please do leave the room for people to give feedback to your blogs or give feedback to your questions, etc. That will make it more vivid, and that's what makes it really so interesting, that you can really build that relationship with the people who are answering the questions on your blog site, on your blog posts. Sorry. Okay. You should post relevant and valuable information, of course. What's the information that your target audience is looking for? What is interesting information? What are their worries, and what answers can you give them, etc. So that is what these people are looking for. So that is what you should be delivering. When people are leaving their comments, you should always thank them. You can give them a little present, like a free ebook or something, or you can just say thank you. That's also very good. But please do not forget to thank the people who left a comment, even if it's not a nice one, but most of the people will not do that, I guess. And then one that is also extremely important, do not forget to inform your entire network of your new blog posts, and certainly of your new blog if you're just starting. Spread it as much as you can. And please don't make it too complicated. We do not need very complicated scientific texts. That's not what most of the people are looking for. We get already too much information, so it should be something that is easy to read, that is fun to read, and where we can get interesting information. Okay, those were the 14 common mistakes. Are there any questions or remarks or other mistakes that you are thinking of?
Yes, there are a lot of new questions here.
Okay.
There is Mark, and he's asking if the ideal length of a blog post is around 500 words. Is that correct?
Yeah, 600 I think, but it really depends a little bit on your target audience, your topic, etc. I think that my blog posts might be sometimes a little bit long, but that's just me because I want to give a lot of information as long as it is readable. But indeed, 500-600 is indeed what people are suggesting. Yeah.
Rudy is wondering if blogging can be a series of articles with a clear to be continued message.
Oh yeah, sure. It is certainly an interesting way to keep the audience connected. I mean, it's like a cliffhanger then. So you should make the end of your first blog post something like a cliffhanger, right? It's an interesting thought. I once did it. Can't remember, was it the 10 Commandments of Networking? I think I split it in two, or it was the ABC of personal branding. So it one of those two, I split it into just not, in order to not have it too long, for instance. So, yeah, but it's a good idea. Really should do if you have a lot of ideas there.
Yeah, and Leslie has a couple of questions asking what technology do you use to get it in our mailbox? Do you use MailChimp?
I do use MailChimp indeed, yeah. It's a very user-friendly system, so I'm quite a fan of MailChimp. There are other systems like YMLP, if I'm not if I'm correct, yeah. And there is a Dutch system which is called autorespond.nl, which apparently is also a very good system to to send newsletters, etc. So, but I'm using MailChimp. It's very user-friendly. It's free if you take the basic version. So, which is what I'm using up to now.
Mm-hmm. Susan has also an interesting question. What's the best day for publishing your blog posts? Are Tuesdays better than Fridays in your experience?
Yeah, that's also something. I did some research there, and apparently Tuesday is the best day. That's why I chose a Tuesday. The Tuesday and then the Thursday, apparently. But it also depends, of course, who's your target audience. Are you targeting a business-oriented audience, or are you maybe targeting, like, I don't know, pregnant mothers? Then if you are targeting pregnant mothers, then it might be more interesting to post it on at night or in the evening, I mean, or in the weekends or something. So a little bit depending on your target audience. But apparently a Tuesday and a Thursday morning are the best times.
And Jean, the questions keep coming in. Jean asks, what information do I share with my target group in my blog and ebook, and what information do I keep as knowledge products to sell?
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. This you can't, well, a blog is indeed something completely different from a real training or a real program. So you can't put everything in a blog. It's just too short. So you can give away some interesting information that, let's say, for instance, why is something interesting, or the 3 steps to do something, but really the details and really helping people how to do it in detail, it's just not possible in one blog, so or even in an ebook. So it is important that you give away enough information that people see it as something valuable and relevant. However, it is not possible and it's not necessary to give away everything that is visual.
Mm-hmm. And Karin asks, how did it finally attract new business?
Yeah, for me, is that a particular question for me? I'm not sure what it did. It was just by giving relevant information, people got interested in the concept of personal branding, and they contacted me to know more about it. We had our conversations. We checked together what the difficulties were that these people had and how I could possibly help them, and that way they became my clients. But it was really because they read my blog and they said, oh, that's interesting, and then and I feel that I have the same need and that woman might be able to help me with a certain problem. For instance, I'm a coach, and I posted one of my my blog posts in the LinkedIn group, the Coaching Square LinkedIn group, and there was one lady who read my blog post. She contacted me and she became a client. That's a very practical, concrete example. Okay, I'm going to continue. We will have some questions certainly at the end of the webinar. But we have still a lot on our plate, and I don't want to forget that time. Okay, now what is important in your blog? We've already mentioned the don't-dos, the mistakes that people make. Now what are the to-dos? What are the should-haves? The first one is social media share buttons. Make it for them easy to share your content, to reach even more people. The connect buttons, the social media connect buttons, it must be possible for people to connect with you on social media, and the button should be on your blog too, so that it is easy for them to connect with you on social media. An image, always use an image. People will far more easily read a blog post when there is an image, when there is a nice image, than when there is nothing. So use images, photos, drawings, videos, etc. The comment section, I've already mentioned that one, and the call to action. So these are the first five. The interesting content for your target audience, I've already mentioned that one before, and a very good title. There has to be a very good title, and that creates kind of an urgency. So how to get rid of your HR worries, or how to lose 10 kilos in 10 weeks, for instance. Or the 10 steps to build a house, or something like that, so that it really creates some kind of urgency, or that people get interested or are curious to read more. The title is a very important one. It should also have ideally new and interesting and surprising information. Don't forget to mention something about yourself, especially if you're using it in for personal branding and marketing reasons. Don't forget to tell who you help with what to achieve what. A kind of your elevator pitch, but in a written form and in a very short form. And of course, be yourself. I've already mentioned that my motto is don't take yourself too seriously. So in my blog posts, you will also see that it's not always too serious, and that there is sometimes a kind of humor and a little bit of laughs. It might be interesting to have a quick look at my website, if it's working at least. Okay, let's have a look at my blog. Which one shall we take here? 10 ways to stop your writer's block. So if you have a writer's block, then you might be interested to read that. So that's the urgency there. And build a client attracting blog. You find the images here. There's another one below. That's an albino duck that I find when I do my morning walks, and I think that is doing a very well, a very good job in standing out from the competition. Now here on the left side you have my social media connect buttons. And on the right-hand side and below, you can also find my social media share button, so people will be able to share my content. There's something about me that's for sure, because it's on my website, so it's full of information how I can help my clients and with what. I've already talked about the comment section, so here is a comment section. I think that Rudy is in the call too. So here is one of Rudy's answers, my answer. So that is a comment and a reaction to my blog post, which is really great. A call to action. This is a question. So how about you? Do you have any ideas how you would tackle things? And then, yeah, interesting information for your target audience. So, what are the ideas? How can you create interesting content when you're out of ideas? Where can you find some ideas? That's what I put in that blog post over there. And be myself. Yeah, well, like I already said, it shouldn't be too serious. So, ha ha ha. Okay, that was my example. Okay, I will continue now with the structure. This is just a possible structure. I mean, it's not set in stone there. It's just a possible structure that you could possibly use for your next blog post. The first one is a title. As I already said, it should have an attractive title and possibly a subtitle. You've already seen one of my examples. The image, as I mentioned before, and then we have the content. And we end with a call to action. Now, as for the content, what is an interesting way to write your blogs, especially if we want to attract more clients and we want to build a reputation and we want to have these cliffhangers, etc., then this is a possible way of structuring your blog post. First, you define the problem. And then you dramatize a little bit. I'm going to give you an example later on so that you can understand it a little bit better. Then you give your opinion and some arguments why you think that your opinion is correct. You give some tips to the reader how to solve that dramatized problem, and you end with a conclusion. So that's a possible structure for your blog. I'm going to give you an example here that it's a blog post that's going out tomorrow. So you have a preview here, a real scoop. So this is my blog post for tomorrow. And the first one is how to get rid of people at networking events. That's the title. So it's kind of a blunt title, really. So people might be interested to know, what is she telling there? That's kind of blunt. And then the subtitle is even though they might be your ideal client. So how do you handle that situation? Then you have an image of two boys. The one is trying to put his brother at the garbage. And then we define the problem. It's a real case of one of my clients, and she always has this difficulty when she's at networking events that when she tells people what she does, people start asking her lots and lots of questions and telling her all their problems, and the thing is that she is not able to get away from the conversation, and she keeps on talking about that same person during the whole event, which is a pity if you are at a networking event, of course. So if you are doing that, then you're not doing a very good job. That's my opinion, and why, and my arguments, you can find it here. Now, I don't stop with my arguments and my opinion. I also give some tips, like in this case, I give you two scenarios how you could possibly try to get rid of that person in a very polite way so that there is a good possibility that there will remain a good relationship. And the conclusion is that it is not so difficult to get rid of people at networking events in a polite way. The call to action is, how would you handle these kinds of situations? So this is a structure of a blog tomorrow in your inbox if you have subscribed to my blog. Okay, Christine, do we have any burning questions up to now? I see that
Yes,
we have 10 more minutes left.
yes, there are a lot of questions. Leslie asks, how do you make sure that the blog gets exposure?
Well, that's my next slide actually. Then what? How do you get out? It's spreading your word. I mean, using the channels, as much as channels possible to spread your word. And it is important that you know where to find your target audience and how you communicate your message, or in this case, how you can communicate your blog post to your target audience. In my programs, we go more into detail in that situation. So who is my target audience and how can I reach them via, well, what channels? But to give you a more concrete answer, of course, social media, of course, your website if you have one, LinkedIn, as we've already mentioned before, the LinkedIn Publish possibility, and tell about it to everybody you meet.
A question from Kathleen.
Other questions?
Yes, Kathleen has a question which is linked to this. She says, so you advise to have and Facebook and LinkedIn and the blog and connect them, ensuring marketing uniformity?
Well, we should take into account our time, of course. I mean, I think that for most of you guys, it's not possible to spend 4 days a week on marketing and branding. So no, I do not advise that you go to every network event possible, and I do not advise that you use every social media platform that is possible. You should use those where you can find your clients. That is of importance. I am a big fan of LinkedIn, especially if you're in the business-to-business sector. Then LinkedIn is the first one, it's a priority. Facebook is might also be interesting, is a little bit more complicated, but is also interesting because more and more people are on Facebook. Also your HR director or the CEO of a company, they too are often on Facebook. So why not Facebook too? But you have to be careful. You can't do everything. That's just not realistic.
Yes, Karin is also asking a question about this. Do you have experience with business-to-business blogging? How do you build a professional corporate audience?
Well, LinkedIn is the best way to spread your message. If you have a LinkedIn profile, try to connect with your target audience, meaning corporate world, and post your blogs at least on LinkedIn via your share buttons, but also via the publish buttons. That's the first thing I would really recommend.
Mm-hmm. And Mark is asking...
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a couple of questions. I don't know if we have time to discuss them.
Yeah, you can already mention one, and then I'll finish the presentation, and then we can cover the rest of the questions.
Okay. Mark is wondering why you have opted for your brand builder rather than Greet Bunnes. Is using your name better than using a company name?
Oh, well, I use both. I mean, the trouble was that I was known as Greet Bunnes, the HR lady, and I had to change the image of that HR. I mean, and it had to become personal branding. So I had some work on my personal brand too. But yeah, for me, I use both of them. For instance, my website is www.brandbuilder.be or also greetbunnes.be, the both of them. If you are a one-man show, then your name is more important than your company name. So don't worry about finding a wonderful name for your company. It is interesting, of course, to have a good name, but for your website, for instance, I would use your own name if I were you. but I use both in my website. I mean, you can find the same website on Greet Bunnens as on uBrand Builder. Okay, so after all this information, you might be thinking, oh my God, will I find the time? It seems so complicated. Where do I start? Will it be successful? And yeah, you want your blog to be successful so that it will be a boost for your personal brand and for your business. So if you feel that you want to achieve success, well, then I'm here to help you. You can find my programs on ubrandbuilder.be/programs, and I will be launching my new 6-month program. There were some clients of mine on the slides, and it will be very soon. So if you are a freelancer and you want to get noticed and attract more clients and enjoy freedom, financial freedom, then my programs might be interesting to you. And what is more important, it's not only about the why you should do things, I also teach you in detail how you can do things. So like this one is a little bit about the why and the how. In our programs we go much more in detail. So please do have a look at my website if you want to have more information, and contact me with whatever question you have. It's no strings attached, and I would be very happy to answer your questions and to look whether we could possibly work together, whether that would be a good idea or not. Now, I promised you a present. You've already seen it. I was a little bit too fast. I'm giving away 5 free blogging scans for those people who already have a blog and they're asking themselves, oh my God, I don't think I'm doing it correctly, and I would like to have an expert look at it. Or when you want to start with your blog and you want to have some kind of action plans with the do's and the don'ts, well then I have good news for you. You can win one of the 5 free blogging scans. I can't give it to everybody because there's too much people on the call, there's too much people who have registered, so unfortunately I cannot give away these blogging scans to everybody, so there's 5 of them. However, you will get a personal note from me whenever you sign up. So I will get them back in touch to you. So if you want, if you are interested to know whether you're doing a good job, or you want to know, have more information on how you can start blogging, well, this is your chance to have some free advice from myself with my lesson learns, my failures, and my best practices. So you just go to this link and you can fill out your details here. So it's the link, and on the right hand side just fill out your details and we will get back to you, I promise. So sign up quickly and maybe you are one of the lucky guys and girls who will win the free blogging scans. Okay, before I leave the floor for questions, I just wanted to mention one other thing that is quite important. I'm not going to give all the examples, we don't have the time, but our next workshops and webinars, I wanted to mention that. On April the 20th we will have a live workshop in Boortmeerbeek, that's near Brussels, and it will be a workshop on the elevator pitch, so make an everlasting positive impression with your elevator pitch. It's going to be a really fun and very interactive workshop, you can be sure of that. And then on May the 18th we have another webinar, the 10 ways to grow your network fast. If you are interested to know more about these workshops and these webinars, please go to this link and you can subscribe or register over there. Good. Then we have some room for some questions. I'm leaving for Amsterdam later on, so I'm not going to take too much time because that's more than 2 hours drive. So for all the Dutch people in the call, I will be visiting your wonderful country tonight and tomorrow and the day after. But I would like to answer some of your questions, of course. That's why we are here. Christine, tell me.
Yes, there's a question from Rudy. He says, telling something about you will not be a CV, will it? Is sharing experiences or telling stories an impactful approach?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a CV indeed. It's more like, well, some people like to know your full background, of course, but it's more telling your target audience how you can help them solve their questions in an original or unique way. That's the best way to introduce yourself. And storytelling indeed is a good way to introduce yourself, because people like listening to stories. So it's a very good idea to use stories to present yourself. But it's important, if you use the blog for marketing and branding reasons, that you are very clear in how you help your target audience and how.
Mm-hmm. And Frank is asking if you have any tips where to get good images from.
Yeah, well, there's the stock photo sites. I mean, you should pay for it, of course. There are some free sites. You know what? I'm gonna send an email tomorrow with the recordings of today, and I will add some interesting sites for photos, some free sites too. Mm-hmm. I'm going to write that one down so that when you look in your mailbox tomorrow, you will have some interesting information there regarding the photos.
Okay. And Mark, he says, I only find US kind of LinkedIn groups related to my specialism rather than groups with Flemish CEOs. Not sure what he wants to know.
Yeah, LinkedIn groups is not always that easy to find the most ideal LinkedIn groups. Try to find who's your target audience. Are there Belgian CEOs? To what groups do they belong, etc. So, but that's more like LinkedIn. That's less with regards to blogging.
He also would like to know if you use a free website format. Which one? If you do.
Yeah, well, for my second website, not for the HR5 website, but for my second website, the uBrand Builder website, I use WordPress. And WordPress is also an ideal platform for blogging. It started actually as a blog platform, so and that's for free. Of course, you have to buy your domain name and some free space with on the internet, but for the rest, it's a very user-friendly. So I would really recommend WordPress.
Mm-hmm. And probably the last question from Leslie. I noticed you posted a blog on the HR Square LinkedIn page. How does that work?
I posted it via LinkedIn, I think. Yeah? So it's in the LinkedIn groups. I belong to the HR Square group, and you are able to post your blog posts in different groups. It depends really on the restrictions, etc. It can't be too salesy. It should be really relevant for your target audience, but that's the way I did it, via the LinkedIn group. I'm just posting it there.
Okay. Well, thank you. There are no more questions.
Okay, so if there are any other questions, please feel free to contact me. You find my details over there. I will be sending you an email with the recording and also the tips regarding the photos. And should in the meanwhile, should you have any questions, just send me an email or give me a call. I would be very happy to talk to you and answer all your questions. And don't forget to subscribe to the free blogging scan via this link, and hopefully you will be the lucky winner. Okay, that leaves me to thank you again for attending this webinar. Really made me very happy. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you or hear you at one of our next webinars, workshops, or scans, or events, or whatever. So let's keep in touch. So thank you very, very much.